Alright, getting ready to rock and roll. Rocking and rolling. Getting ready for the countdown. Get your beverages. Get ready to go. Ooh, a bit of Goldilocks action. That beverage is too hot. The countdown. Boom. All right, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Get Events Online live stream happening every 9 a.m. I'm a little bit late today. On a Thursday, 9 a.m. Melbourne time, which for the rest of the world is at some other time. Work it out, you'll get there. For those of you who don't remember from last time, my name is Warwick Merry, CSP CVP, triple certified. And hey, my job is all about how do we make online and hybrid events so much more fun, so much more valuable and better for the day. Hey, if you're joining me today, say hello. Hit the chat box wherever you are and just say hello. Let us know that you're there. Oh, beauty, I've got my first big chunky bit of spam. That's delightful over on Twitch. Nice. Hey, so today is all about the unsung heroes of events. Oh, we love our unsung heroes. They make us fantastic. And often they get ignored. It as a host of events, it just astounds me how often they get ignored and how poorly they sometimes get treated. But digital, online, hybrid events has dragged them to the spotlight in a way they hate, and they're slowly moving back. So I want to talk about them and what we can do to help make their job easier and how we can use their skills even better. But before I do, if you're into online events, hybrid events, just events in general, I'd love it if you'd share this around with your friends. Put a comment, tag someone in it. It's all about spreading the love and making sure that any of the events that you run and are part of are even better than they were last time. So let's talk about these unnamed heroes. I was having a chat with one of my good friends and customers during the week, all about online events, and in particular, the unsung heroes. All right, let me spill my guts. Here's the unsung heroes. They are, of course, the audio-visual crew, and I'm including lighting in this as well, and in fact, a lot of the backstage players. If you notice them, something's gone wrong. Either your AV's not working properly, or the lights have gone out, or the transition on the video hasn't worked, and everyone's like, oh my God, get the AV people. So I know for me, whenever I'm running an event, I try and introduce myself to them very quickly. If I can, I will take them snacks if I'm live. If I'm virtual, I'll just make sure that I try and get the best relationship possible, because it helps them do a better job and me look better. Here's the thing. As we've gone into hybrid and online events, the demands on our AV crew have been increased. So for some of the different AV events, typically what will happen is they'll set up the room, it's all good, and then they'll have someone, often a junior staff, just sitting at the desk to make sure everything's okay, and if something goes wrong, they'll just tweak it. Can't do that with online events. With online events, there is so much happening that we need them on the money every step of the way. I've seen too many events where, particularly with something like Zoom or some of those online things where someone talking makes them live, and so if they haven't done the AV properly and someone's finished their presentation and goes, "Whoa, wasn't that a fantastic presentation," just to themselves or their colleagues, and then they go live, messy. So you need someone who knows what they're doing. And what it means for our AV crew is that they've got to be on the money even more, as well as being on the money beforehand, helping set up individuals who don't know the technology often, and they're trying to get them to raise their camera a little bit, look in the barrel of the camera, don't look down at the screen. Have you got some more lights? Don't have the window behind you. So all that kind of stuff that they've got to very politely and delicately, it's a challenge. It can be a challenge. And what I found is some of the big events, not necessarily the big events, but some events that are repetitive, they'll get to have a relationship with a particular AV. Usually it's the AV boss, and they are their partner in the event. Now, I've seen this often with bands. Bands will have their own sound person. They'll rock up to a different venue and they'll use the different sound gear there, but they have their own sound person. The idea of North, who are a fantastic Australian a cappella group, they have their own sound person, which is so important for them because I think there's 5 of them now, and getting that blend which changes depending on the song. And so they need their AV person to know what's going on. I was fortunate enough to go to Somersault in Ballarat recently, and they had the same technical setup every time. Big desk, big speakers, big whatever. But each band thanked their AV person was a different person every time because they know the band. Same can be said for your event. They know, I know, and there's an event that I've had a lot to do with, and there's the PCO who basically, the conference organizer who runs that event for the client. They now know more about the event than what the client does because they've been doing it for so long. And so it would be foolish to try and get anyone else. The same with the AV. So here's the thing. Get that good relationship going with your AV. Look at having them as a long-term person. And it may just be that one person. And it may be for your event that wherever you host it, and you might have a hybrid that's been main run out of, say, Brisbane or Perth or whatever, that your AV person goes on site with you. And look, and I get for some venues you have to use their AV team, and that's okay. But if you can have your main person there who knows how everything is run, they know how to speak the language of AV. Let's face it, AV has its own language. So I would strongly encourage you to look at what is that relationship. And for those of you who are presenting out of your home office, maybe it's got you've got a relationship with someone who is the AV guru that you refer to. They know your setup. I know there's a couple of my speaker buddies who are not super technical and don't have any desire to be, have hired someone in to just set it up, make it work. And whenever there's a problem, they're the person who gets the phone call. Your AV are so valuable. If you get your AV right, it makes such a big difference. I know I've talked to some pro lighting people to help me get my setup happening, and I've talked to quite a lot of different other techos to try and get it all sorted. So for you, what do you need? When it comes to AV, what do you need? Who do you need that's someone who's going to be able to hold your hand every step of the way? And just so you know, this is not a sell because it's not me. I mean, I can help with some of the tech, but the AV stuff in a detailed event environment, that's so not me. But there are many great players in the Australian market and the Australasian market. So it is about who do you need on your team. Get your AV right. It's so important because it's so distracting when it doesn't work. As the AV crew will say, when things go wrong, everybody wants to know who's in charge of AV. But if everything goes perfectly and goes super well, no one even notices. And it can be challenging to try and have a job where your goal is to have no one notice that you're actually doing your job. But they do it so well. Alrighty, that's enough from me. Hey, thanks for joining in. Good to have you here. If I can help at all, jump on the website, say hi, send me a message, whatever you need. You know the drill. Get in touch. It's all good. It's been a delight to be here yet again, talking about getting events online, virtual, hybrid, all the good gear. Hey, thanks very much. Let me know any questions, comments that you've got, and I will look forward to your company next Thursday, 9 a.m.-ish, Melbourne time, because daylight savings has changed in the city. All right, that's it for now. End of stream. But see, I have to hang around at the end bit because some of the players, they cut off the stream really quick. So you just ignore this bit. This is me just hanging around doing the funky AV dance. Funky AV dance. Funky AV dance. Thanks, Paul. Nice.